Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, Podbean, all that good stuff. You already know how this go. Let's get right into it. As you know by now, that same good old elevator ride up to Dr. Miller's office. Just had some things to kind of get off my chest today. Especially I had reminisced a little bit about when I was growing up and just some of the important things that's never mentioned to me. Again, I wish when I was coming up, somebody would have said how important it was to get, well, they did. I guess they just didn't put it in terms that I really understood, but getting some sleep. Getting some rest. That has to be the greatest. I always used to see like my grandfather, rest in peace to him, my grandmother, my mom, my dad, everybody, just older family members would always say something like, get your rest or don't be too tired. You got to get some sleep. Got to get some sleep. Because again, that little teen age that we all go through, I was not thinking about sleep. I was not thinking about rest. And they always say things like, well, it's going to catch up to you one day. But again, you're not thinking about it. You just going on with life. Like, yeah, all right. When it catch up, it catch up. I'm about to be out here. But man, if I would have knew to get some sleep back in the day to kind of help me for now, whew, Lord knows I would go back and go to sleep every second that I could. I know I'm not the only one. You ever wake up and look at the clock and just say it's not fair? Literally look and say, oh, it's not fair. And you get up upset at the world and you just want to cuss everybody out. It's like that's the worst part. Once you up, you got the juices flowing, you good, but them first couple of minutes of trying to get up and get yourself together, I just always feel like, man, if I would have got some sleep when I was 9 years old, maybe I wouldn't be going through this right now at 30. You just know when you're getting older. I try to tell everybody now, man, you got to sleep. You got to rest. I don't think nothing's more important than sleep nowadays. And I also feel like that's the greatest thing to do. Sleep. I never felt such a joy, and I know it sounds weird, and it probably sounds like some old shit, but I'm being so honest. The fact that you can lay down somewhere comfortably and rest your body and close your eyes is like the greatest feeling ever created. Dear Love, episode 55. As I get older, though, I also notice how petty I've become. Sometimes I look at my son when he sleep and I just get upset. I be like, now how he get to sleep? And I got to get up and go work hard and all this stuff I got to do. And I think that's something that just goes down the line. I think that's what parents be upset with because they watch us for so many years just like lay around and do nothing. Can you imagine like paying all the bills, car notes, lights, gas, all these different things you have to pay on a regular basis. And when you come home, your kid is asleep. Can you imagine like how that would make you feel? It makes you just want to like wake him up yourself. Like, man, get up. What is you doing? I'm sleeping, Dad. It's like, why wake me up? Because you got to go work hard. My day will come. It makes me appreciate when my grandmother used to wake us up for school. She would come in there and say, get on up. Now, we would stay up all night, and she'd still say, get on up. But I really thank her for that. And it just, again, it makes me really sit back and think like, man, she worked and did her years already. She can get up when she wants to, but she still had a responsibility, to make sure that we were up, even though we were old enough to be up ourselves. So it's like, now she's breaking her sleep to make sure you get up. And I don't think, me personally, I don't think I appreciated that enough coming up. Cause like, man, she's actually breaking her sleep. And when you sit back and think about it, you think, I mean, everybody, just sit back and think about how hard your mom and dad and their parents work. Think about the days that they didn't get any sleep to make sure that you got some sleep. Because again, I see myself doing it now, and I sit back, I say, man, I really can't believe how much I didn't pay attention to what my family did for me as far as rest. Rest is like so important. So for them to not get any sleep to do that is definitely a blessing, and I really thank them for that. I even look at people who work third shift. Now, granted, I work third shift at times at my job, but for people who've done like third shift their whole life, you know, they call it the graveyard shift, to be up like that all night and then still have responsibilities to do in the morning is such a blessing also, because it's like you get no sleep, none. And when you do get sleep, you got to try to get it during the day while the whole world is moving. Because I still feel like you're designed to go to bed when the sun goes down, not while the sun is up. That was usually for times where you just so tired you can't move and then you just pass out. But then what do we do then? We make sure the lights is out, and sometimes we hide under our cover. Again, that feeling of it just being dark is something that we look forward to. It helps us sleep better. So again, just growing up, I really thank my family for making sure I got up, man, because I see myself doing it now. And you sacrifice a lot of that rest to make sure everybody else is okay. But I guess you don't notice yourself until those later years, and then you can look back and say, damn, all I can say is thank you. You know, I can't get into details about it. Just got to say thank you. A lot of us are still asleep mentally. And I kind of have that same feeling also. Because now that I think about it again, all of the things that they did, that's how the world is set up. Are we awake? When did we get up? Some of us get up too late. It's just like school, you know, you try to get that last 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes be the one that bites you in the ass. Because you know how somebody will say, let's say you work in a job, and they say, oh, you're late today. But I'm only 5 minutes late. And what do they always say? Well, yeah, if you would have left 5 minutes earlier, you would have been on time. So again, getting up, doing what you got to do is important. So I feel like half the world is still asleep. Growing up, sleep. We not really noticing everything that's happening in front of us. It happens with my son all the time. He get up, I say, go to the bathroom. He walking while his eyes closed. Sometimes he'll run into the wall because he's not up. He still don't understand what's going on around him. He know what he's supposed to do. He hear it, but he not paying attention. And that's a problem. And that's a problem that a lot of us face, that a lot of us go through. Again, that simple topic of getting rest and getting sleep is how the world runs. One time I can remember in my life, maybe twice, I went to work one time, and I think I stayed up from the night before, and I literally was walking, and I like dropped. I didn't fall completely down because I caught myself, but like my legs gave out. I was that tired. I never forget that day. And another time I was so tired, I went to sleep standing up. Do you know how tired you really have to be for your body to say, okay, I can't do nothing else? It's shutdown time. And then that goes into the whole argument of how many hours are you supposed to get? Now, growing up, they always said 8 hours a day. And if you get anything over that, you sleeping too much and you still have become tired. I guess you could look at it like charging your phone past 100%. It'll kind of mess your phone up. But I was always raised to say about 3 to 4 hours is like standard time, especially how the world moves now. You can't sleep for 8 hours. Who got 8 hours to sleep? If you have 8 hours to sleep in today's society, I must clap my hand for you. I don't know what you're doing, but to be able to sleep 8 hours is amazing to me. Then you had those times in school where you call yourself trying to get some sleep during school. You put your head down, and you know it's real when you start slobbing. Oh man, I remember those days. I would just be sitting there, and then I put my head down. I just wake up slobbing, and now you can't help but let everybody see that you asleep because now you got the marks on your face. They like, oh yeah, he was sleeping good. So I had to kind of start a routine of just going to bed early, and I started it kind of early in life instead of waiting until I got a little bit older. I said, man, I need to be in bed by a certain time, especially after I had my son. I really started to go to bed early, and that's when I knew it was kicking in. Because again, I remember nights we just up 24 hours, 27, just like nonstop action, nonstop kicking it. But again, I really do see why my dad will always say, go to bed, or parents will force their kids to go to bed. It just happened to my son a couple days ago. Stayed up a little bit later than usual. It was time to get up, and what did he do? Drop right back down. He couldn't even get up. And I just thought to myself, see, that feeling that you have right now, this is why you got to go to sleep. That's why you got to get into bed when you're supposed to. Because it's not going to always be, oh, I can lay back down and it's okay. You get to a point in your life like me where you got to go to work. Or let's say you run your own business or something. You can't be asleep. You got to get up. So I always try to preach that get you some sleep message. Because, again, if you decide to do sports, if you decide to do anything in life, you gotta rest your body, man. You gotta get that tune-up going, because you start running on E, you bound to fall no matter where you are. Now look at that. I guess I didn't need Dr. Miller today after all, huh? To be able to figure these things out on my own, I guess it kind of shows I never should have came here in the beginning anyway. I could just imagine what he would have said to me talking about sleep. Maybe he would have took the approach like, hey, who needs sleep? Sleep when you die. I can't stand when people say sleep when you die. I can't stand it. Like, obviously people go to sleep. I mean, it's the way of life. You can't be up for 32 years. Dear Love T. Shaw, I'm out of here.